watching Centex Sports Network.
You got 8 seconds to prove you're worth the price of admission. And you got Baylor Scott and White Health along for the ride. So square up. You got this.
RJ's Bargain Center is your home team for appliances at unbeatable prices. From refrigerators to washers, dryers to stoves, you'll find brand new appliances with huge discounts. And just like your favorite local teams, RJ's is proud to support our community and local sports. Score your savings today at RJ's Bargain Center, 711 Lynn Street, Waco. Call 254-224-6178. RJ's Bargain Center, where big savings are always a home run.
This is why you need Centex Primetime. Jalen Gillis brings the realness. Dive into the heart of sports with the most passionate commentary around. From pro to high school, Jalen's got the insight and energy you crave. Catch all the action weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. on the Centex Sports Network, only on YouTube. Join the conversation and elevate your sports knowledge with Centex Primetime. Don't miss it.
Need video or audio solutions? Lighthouse Streaming, a full-scale media agency, can transform any event. Check this out. We're talking live streaming that's crisp and clear, event audio that hits every note, and church video and audio solutions that'll enhance worship. Corporate events, we got those on lock too. From concerts to conferences, Lighthouse Streaming and Audio makes your vision shine. Book your appointment now at lighthousestreaming.com or call 254-252-4206 for a free consultation. Let's elevate your event and light up the...
Hello, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back into Centex Primetime. I am your host, Jalen Gillis, as we get ready to bring you through the primetime topics in sports, not just here locally in the Central Texas area, but from all around the nation. I want to thank everybody for tuning in with us this week, as we've got a lot of football to try to cover here today. Folks, we'll have a slightly shortened episode. Won't make it all the way to 7 o'clock today, but we're going to get you guys football on the high school level, the college level, the NFL level, all of those, and I'll give you a little bit of what we think about some of these games coming up for this upcoming weekend. Once again, thank you, everybody, for tuning in with us. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're watching with us over on YouTube, Centex Sports Network / Centex Sports TV on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, like and share this stream as well, so you can let everybody know we're getting ready to talk some ball here on Centex Primetime. Also, make sure you guys check out our website, CentexSportsNetwork.com. Free subscription. Just need your name and your email to get signed up. We've got MCC Volleyball tomorrow on the website and on YouTube, starting at 6 o'clock. MCC still in conference play for their volleyball team. They'll be in action tomorrow and on Saturday, so make sure you guys tune in to Centex Sports Network to be able to catch all of that action. Well, we're going to get right to it, folks. Like I said, a lot of football to be able to cover today, so we're going to jump into it. Joining me here at the table, we've got the man you see up here every single week with us, the most famous man in Waco, Mr. Rocky Miller, in the building. Rock, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on, man? Hey, I just looked at myself on the monitor over there and realized that I got this gray stuff on the side of my head. Yeah, I need to hurry up and get that off. But other than that, bro, everything is going well, man. Everything is going well.
Well, like I said, folks, we're going to jump right into it. And I want to start on the NFL level here today on Centex Primetime and go to the game that we got a chance to see last night, the Monday night game that closed out Week 3 in the NFL. And this season, I feel like we have more question marks than answers when it comes to the NFL and some of their teams. Last night was a clash of what I consider to be two of the best teams in the NFL, the Baltimore Ravens and the Detroit Lions. These two teams met up, both looking to get a win. Both already had early losses on the season, coming in 1-1. So they're both teams trying to get a W here. The Detroit Lions were able to win this football game. It was close pretty much the majority of the game. They both scored a touchdown in each of the first 3 quarters, keeping it super close, making it a 21-21 game as we went into the fourth quarter. And in the fourth quarter, the Detroit Lions pulled away, and that was all led by the running game. The Detroit Lions were able to run the ball for 224 yards on the Baltimore Ravens. David Montgomery leading that charge with 151 yards, 2 touchdowns to go along with it. Jared Goff also chipped in with 200 yards and a touchdown in their win. On the other side, the Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson, 21 for 27, 288 yards, 3 touchdowns. Another good performance from him. Derrick Henry, a not so king-like performance. Only 12 carries, 50 yards, and a touchdown. But the most notable play out of all of that was the fumble he had late in the game that nearly sealed the fate of the game. You know, everybody will say, well, that's not the reason we lost the game. Well, that had a big part to do with why they lost the game. Now being 2 straight fourth quarters that he's had a fumble. I believe in the last he's got 3 fumbles on this season, and he had 3 fumbles in the last 700 carries or something crazy like that. So something that we have not seen from Derrick Henry in his entire career, starting to creep up here now. I don't know if that's some of the old age for running backs starting to creep up. Not sure exactly what it is, but those 3 fumbles have all been costly in all 3 of the games for the Baltimore Ravens. Rock, what'd you think last night when you seen Detroit pull away late against the Ravens to get a win?
This game was pretty simple, man. You can blame it on Derrick Henry or whatever. They may have been more competitive. They may could have pulled it out. But this is the same Detroit team. If you don't get a rush and if you don't stop the run, they'll beat you to sleep.
Yeah.
First off, if you don't get a rush, you're not going to be able to get Jared Goff off his spot. And if he has a pocket to throw the football in, he's pretty tough. He's a really good quarterback when he has a pocket to throw the ball in. Also, you weren't able to stop the run, and therefore you were able to keep the Ravens defense was off balance all night long. Lamar was Lamar, and then when you have one of your primary weapons, Derrick Henry, giving the ball away, kind of it's a recipe for disaster, to be honest with you. But again, I'll say this about the overall of the third week of the season. Up to this point, the first 2 weeks had been an extension of the previous season.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when teams start suffering injuries, it changes. This season now shapes up and begins to form its own personality. And the reason why I bring that up is one of the reasons why I think the Ravens had trouble stopping the Ravens is because they had 3 starters out. Having 3 starters out, your leading sack, your team leader in sacks was out.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't get pressure on Goff. Couldn't stop the run. Hey, it just was a disaster. It was just a formula for Detroit to truly control this game, and they did, and they won as they should have. Especially when you're getting a couple turnovers from Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
I always like to look at these kind of games against 2 of the premier teams in the league. It's never gonna be the plays that make the game. It says what plays are made to lose the game.
Yeah, yeah.
And unfortunately, Derrick Henry made several plays to lose the game, and the Detroit played pretty clean. Yep. And when that happens against 2 of the best teams in the league, we got the outcome that we get. And my Baltimore -4 was no good.
They ain't shaped up too well.
Yeah, no. So again, I'll go back to the drawing board as well. But week 3 as a whole, I thought it's shaping up where, like I said earlier, the injuries are kind of defining what this season is. To talk about the Bengals, they struggle.
Yeah, mightily.
Let's talk about my Cowboys and CeeDee Lamb going down.
Yeah.
After taking a freaking handoff. He's not a running back.
Didn't make any sense. And the fact that the injury stemmed right after that.
Again, my point is, I could see if it was some type of adjustment to something that the Bears were doing, but it was way too early in the game to throw him in the backfield. How about throw him a pass? So,
but you paid him $100-something million to do.
Wow. Hopefully that experiment is over with. And and I remember last year we had a few games where we ran CD when we were struggling to run the football, but we haven't struggled to run the football this year. Surprisingly, Williams has been, more than effective.
Yeah.
And so I would have expected us to play much better than we played. But when you got a defense that can't stop nobody, I didn't know Bland meant that much to our defense.
Yeah, I don't think he does. That's the problem. But it looks that way.
Yeah,
it
looks
that way.
We can't cover nobody, man. We can't cover nobody, man.
And I'll segue straight into that game as we just wrapped up talking about Detroit beating Baltimore. I'll segue right into the Cowboys game, man. Dallas loses 31-14. This was the second blow to my parlay because I actually picked Dallas on the money line. I didn't trust the points. I picked them on the money line and thinking, hey, Dallas will pull this one out. It's the Bears. What's going to happen at the end of the day? It's the Bears. Something's going to blow up. Something's going to go wrong because that's what happens with the Chicago Bears. Well, I was wrong in this one. And as bad as the Bears have been in fourth quarters recently, they weren't that in this game. And this Dallas defense, for whatever we thought it was last week against Russell Wilson, it's actually worse than that, in my opinion, looking at it this past weekend against Chicago. Caleb Williams dominated in this game. I mean, it was that simple, 19 for 28, 298 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks. And in this game, he didn't have to do much of throwing guys open. I mean, guys were just wide open. The first touchdown to Roma Dunzier, the bomb. I mean, guys, they're just sitting there just completely wide open. I don't know how many times we have to see a number 7 falling out like this for the Dallas Cowboys as a receiver is going into the end zone. There's issues there. As I've argued with people before Micah got traded and then after Micah got traded, when they say, oh, we'll just, we'll take that money and we'll pay a Trayvon Diggs, or we can keep Diggs and we can keep Deron Bland and extending them. Maybe those guys were good and were having all-pro years because a guy like Micah was rushing the passer. And maybe now that there's not anybody rushing the passer, we're saying, oh, wow, these guys actually can't cover, which most of us knew. Even Trayvon Diggs' Pro Bowl season or all-pro season where he's getting picks, he was one of the top leaders in giving up yards as well in that season alone. So we should have known that, but this defense looks worse. They can't stop the run. They can't stop the pass. I mean, it's bad. It's bad. Jerry Jones says the defense got to get together. It's always funny hearing Jerry come out and saying what the Cowboys need to do schematically because we know he has absolutely no idea what they need to do schematically. But he says they're going to be better on defense. I don't see how that's going to happen. Dak is going to have to have Herculean performances week in and week out just for this team to be competitive. Unfortunately, and the Dallas Cowboys fall to now 1-2 on the season after falling to the Bears. Rock, what'd you think seeing the Bears, pretty much just manhandle the Cowboys, especially as it got to that second half?
That's where it gets that's where the game, the real people you get caught up in watching the game without watching the game. Mm-hmm. We're not playing complimentary football.
No.
Right? We have a defense that's struggling. We ran the ball 20 times, threw the ball 45 times. In my opinion, with a defense that's struggling, it should be the opposite. We should be running the ball 45 times and passing 20 times. You got to remember, guys, up to this point, we're averaging 5 yards a carry on the ground through three weeks. Yep. We should invest more in the running game. It may not look as pretty. It may look even ugly, right? Now, again, we've been running the ball really well, but unfortunately, we've had some fumbles and some fumbles as well. So we're dealing with that. But yet and still, if you just look at statistically what we're doing, we are doing really well in the run game. We should commit more, invest more time in the running game. I know we're trying to get Dak to earn that $60 million. He's not going to earn it. And especially now that CD's out, he's not going to earn it. But I think if we can make some hay running the football, it'll give us some opportunities to really, make some big plays in the passing game. But we should be passing to score rather than just move the ball because we can move the ball without passing. And so I look for us to come back against the Packers. And with Micah coming back, with everything that's on the line, hopefully we'll run right at Micah.
Yeah.
Since he can't stop the run. Yeah, Jerry declared that. And maybe that'll slow the pass rush down and all this kind of stuff. And but so far I'm really impressed. I try to be positive early in the season and look at what we can do versus what we can't do because we're trying to figure out what this team is. We know what can they do? They can run the football. What can't they do? Defend. What can help a defense? Running the football.
Absolutely.
So
go hand in hand.
Yeah, so maybe we got not necessarily the fix, but we can relieve some of the pressure off of the defense by keeping them off the field. And you can't throw touchdowns when you're on the sideline. And so let's see if this week we can keep Jordan Love on the sideline a little more and go ahead and commit to running the football. Because I see that as this season progresses, that's our only path to victory.
Yeah.
Is to run the football.
As bad as the Cowboys' defense has been, and that's been the overwhelming narrative, I have to agree with you. The run game looks not only good, it looks like, honestly, one of the best run games in the league if they just continue to run. Javonte Williams, 10 carries for 76 yards, and we don't get a dude the ball back. Like, I don't, it's strange. I don't get that. I understand you get down and you want to start.
Even when we were behind, we should have, we should have been running the ball. We were down by 10 with plenty of time to get to go in the game. Our best receivers out. We should have been running the football, moving. And again, here's another one of my pet peeves. You're treating a gadget guy as if he's a frontline, top-notch wide receiver.
Yeah, Devontae Turpin.
We're trying to get the ball too much to him in the passing game. I understand that he's explosive and he can do something with the ball, but again, Dak's connect percentage with him is so low.
It's very low. Very low.
And so, and the plays that you call for him are usually down the field, which take a little more time to develop. It ain't like they're throwing him screens and they're really taking shot plays with him. You know what I mean? And so, again, I think we could use him in the running game as a gadget guy.
Exactly.
Rather than CD.
CD should have never got I didn't even think about it. If you got Devontae Turpin, why is CD ever getting a hand? That's this guy's job description. Handoffs, kick returns, go balls. That's what's on Devontae Turpin's contract. That's his job description. Give him those plays. I agree with you. Stop throwing the ball to him so many times.
We're running the ball. We're passing the ball, in my opinion, way too much.
Way too much. And putting way too much on Dak early in the season. Then the picks are going to start to roll in, as they did this week. Like, it's too much you're putting on him. Like you said, you were down 10. It was 14-3 at the end of the first. Run the football. There's plenty of time.
We're literally averaging. If I had to just do, some sixth grade math, we're averaging the ball about 5.2, 5.3 yards a carry. By my estimation, if we run the ball at that clip, we could literally run the ball.
Detroit didn't run it that good last night. Not 5 a carry.
No. but what they were but they didn't run it like that. But they had a quarterback and a system where they were able to connect in the passing game. So they were able to, we have issues protecting, and again, we throw so many 5-yard passes to Ferguson. Yeah. Why not just hand the dang ball off?
And all I was thinking was, why did I not pick Ferguson on my fantasy team?
Let's look at Ferguson.
14 targets.
Let's look at Ferguson yesterday.
14. He had 13 catches, 82 yards.
Come on, man.
14 targets.
So what I say with that is, let's convert those to carries.
Yeah.
Right? You convert those to carries, and then you have a more explosive athlete with the football, and you have the game is slowed down tremendously. You're keeping the other other team off the field. I just think if you're going to throw the ball at a 5-yard per attempt to your tight end, we're better served running the ball.
Running the ball. Letting your linemen go do what they want to do. They're struggling to pass block. Let them go run block.
Because a 5-yard pass doesn't wear down your defense. Wear down the opponent's defense.
That wears down your tight end. He's getting smacked every time he touches the ball because we're giving him 2-yard. You give him little 2-yard, 3-yard catches, and he's just going to get smacked. Only person getting worn down is him.
I don't even think they were guarding him.
No, because he's going to stop. He's an outlet pass every time. I don't know what route he's run so far this season. He's an outlet pass and gets 14. I'm just trying to figure out why I didn't pick him up my fantasy. I know he had to get at least 20 points. He
was my fantasy, one of my fantasy tight ends.
Off just catches alone, he's going to be good.
And he had at one point, 11 points. I'm like, 11 points? He must have, and then I realized
it's just
9 of them for catches. You know
It's
what I mean?
all
I'm like,
just
I'm glad you
catches.
get points per catch in this league.
They got to start running the ball more. Looking at the Bears side, is this a aha moment for Caleb Williams and for Ben Johnson, or was this just playing a bad Cowboys defense with him going out there getting 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, looking like the quarterback I guess they expected him to be, but hadn't looked like that all season?
Bro, Russell Wilson.
Yes. Thank you.
Russell Wilson.
That's all you had to say.
Went to the Hall of Fame against us.
Yeah, he did. It got benched the next week. It was
And
like-
yeah. So I think it was definitely our defense.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
look at it, man. Let's be honest. Roma Dunze, butt naked, wide open.
completely wide open.
What's the tight end? Komet.
Yeah, Cole Komet.
Butt naked,
Wide open.
wide open. And then Luther Bird, butt naked, wide open. So, I mean, again, he threw the ball to the right guy, the wide open guy.
Yeah, that's it.
And so I don't think that's indicative of what you'll see every Sunday.
No.
Playing NFL in the quarterback is about making timely throws, putting it in small windows. And he hadn't proved he could do that consistently. And nothing I saw, though he played great against the Cowboys, nothing I saw against the Cowboys proved that he would be able to do that so consistently. So I think the jury's still out on him. Just to be perfectly honest with you.
I agree.
And I think that's a fair,
definitely still out on
like I
him.
say, that's a fair assessment.
Yeah.
And again, can a game like this build momentum? Obviously.
Yeah.
But Caleb Williams' challenge as a quarterback, in my opinion, is going to be getting the ball out on time, making the right decision.
Decision making.
And so he has a big arm. He's a tremendous athlete. He's going to be able to throw the ball a country mile. He's going to be able to run and make defenders miss. Can he get the ball out on time? Can he make accurate throws? Can he avoid the disastrous play?
Yeah.
Those are the things that he needs to get out of his game.
Yeah, his decision making has always been his biggest thing. As you said, he's got all the stats. He's got all the tools to be able to be successful. He's got a big arm. He's fast. He can avoid pressure in the pocket. We know all that. Decision making is going to be his biggest thing. We know Ben Johnson can call plays. That's not even a shocker. Can Caleb Williams make decisions consistently?
What I will say is this game, because I did watch the previous games Caleb Williams played. Now, it may be in the Cowboys in this regard. There was a lot less dink and dunk this game.
It was.
And it looked more like a game plan that was tailored toward what Caleb Williams is more suited to do. I thought in the previous 2 games, he was trying to use the Jared Goff game plan to try to, but then maybe he was trying to also, avoid pressure by really getting the ball out of his hand fast. I think Caleb Williams is going to be a guy that he's gonna be more of a Randall Cunningham kind of quarterback, meaning that if you really think about Randall Cunningham, he was about stretching the field, chunk plays.
Yeah.
Highlight reel
Yep.
kind of play.
Michael Vick type of thing.
Yeah, and you have to build an offense that can run the football, because that's going to be your consistent offense. Running the football with Caleb Williams,
As
I
it
would
was
say,
in
would be
Detroit.
your consistent offense.
Yeah.
And then you could use Caleb to get those chunk plays, those scoring plays. And so let's just see how it turns out. I like to see the young quarterback play well, but at the end of the day, it was the Cowboys defense. I don't think he proved much.
No, nothing really got proved. He got to go out there and do it again, in my opinion. As you just brought, Russell Wilson was really all we needed to say. The dude literally just got benched, and he looked like Joe Montana against the Cowboys defense. So this could have just been Caleb Williams playing that Dallas defense. But we'll see what Chicago is able to do in the next upcoming week.
I say he looked like Tony Romo.
Yeah.
because he threw that interception
Yeah, he
right
did.
at the end
He
of the
did.
game.
He did.
Yeah, that was more like
a
Romo.
perfect Tony Romo game.
Yeah.
Light it up for 550 yards, and then the last drive throw a pick that is the game to lose it. That's some Tony Romo type of stuff right there. Well, I can't give all the credit or all the blame on one of the Texas teams. I got to talk about the other one that just happens to beat my team.
The 0-3 one.
The one with no win next to their name. The 0-3 Houston Texans.
Thanks, Russell.
Yeah.
At least we got one win between the two
That
of
should
them.
be some shirts. Thanks, Russell. We got one win.
Otherwise, Texas would be 0-6.
And that would, and we're leaning way too close to that. C.J. Stroud and the Texans fall short to the underwhelming Jacksonville Jaguars. I got to be honest. 17-10 in a game that was not fun to watch. If I wasn't a Texas fan, no chance I would have been watching this game. The game was underwhelming from start to finish. Neither team really did anything. C.J. Stroud and the Texans just did their nothing a little bit worse than the Jaguars did their nothing. Thus, we lost the game 17-10. Jaguars win this one. Trevor Lawrence didn't look good once again. He hasn't really looked that great. Like I said, Jaguars offense didn't look great. The defense didn't look that great. C.J. Stroud just played worse. 25 for 38, 204 yards, a touchdown that came at the last 2 minutes of the game, and 2 interceptions. Weren't able to get the running game going. Nick Chubb led all rushers with 38 yards in the game. This Houston defense still looks formidable. They've had some injuries out there as well, but they've been doing their job. This Texans offense, we thought it was Bobby Slowick last year, so we fired Bobby Slowick. Now we've got a new offensive coordinator. Offense looks the same. Same old problems. Can't block. Can't run the ball because we can't block. Offensive line looks bad. C.J. Stroud is regressing. And at this point, you got to start to question the regression of this Texas team. Is it C.J. Stroud? Did he peak in his rookie year? Is it DeMeco Ryans? Can he not get this figured out on the offensive side of the ball? Is it our GM? With Nick Caserio? Why do we draft a receiver every second round instead of drafting an offensive lineman? I haven't been able to figure that out yet. Look, since you're on the outside looking in on this, Rock, what is the downfall ultimately of this Houston Texans team? Because at this point, we got to start to question a little bit of everybody after the 0-3 start. When we haven't played, super tough schedule on this 0-3 start.
I hate to just repeat myself. But I'm gonna go ahead and repeat myself. This is a function of the Texans really doing a version of the Cowboys.
Yep.
And I'll say this: simply not playing complementary football. You have a defense that's pretty stout, unlike the Cowboys. But you have an offense that struggles to protect their quarterback.
Yep.
I don't see in a situation where the other team scores 10 points up until the last couple minutes or whatever, why you should have thrown the ball 38 times. Like, even if, okay, so let's just say you throw the ball 25 times and you hand it off the other 13 times. I think in this game, be honest with you, if you run the ball 33 times and you throw it 25 times, just by virtue of that, you get a better result in this game. Absolutely. I think you get a much closer game, right?
I agree.
Because then what I'm asking, you're not asking C.J. Stroud to make every critical decision in this game. You can set up your offensive pass plays a little better, and you may be passing in obvious passing situations, but I think in obvious passing situations, you can kind of dictate what you're going to get defensively. What they're doing now is, it seems like every series that I've seen is, if they get a good run, they get a good play, then they go right back to, okay, CJ, we want you to push the ball down the field to Nico Collins. Man, at some point you have to understand that you probably can push the ball down to Nico Collins, but you can't protect C.J. Stroud consistently. So what difference does it make? Because every other drop back is a hurry, a hit on the quarterback, or possibly even a sack, man. So they're just not playing complementary. Matter of fact, with that being said, I would trade our situation as a Cowboy fan with the Texas situation in a heartbeat because I think your situation is easier to manage.
Very fixable.
But you have to have a change in offensive philosophy that will complement your defense.
I agree. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. They don't run. Nick Chubb, 9 carries, 38 yards. That's 4.5 yards a carry almost. Why does he have 9 carries? As you stated, the game was the same score from the end of the first quarter almost until the last 2 minutes of the game. Neither team could score. Why are we passing the ball 40 times as if we're down by 20 points? We were down by 7 points the whole time. Why not just run the ball? You're getting both running backs that got in.
I could have swore it was tied up for a while, wasn't it?
And they got the lead, and then it was 7-3. And it stayed 7-3 for the majority of the game. They kick a field goal at the end of the third, and now it's 10-3.
Okay.
And it stayed like that. And then right before the last, we kick a field goal at the beginning, and then right before the end of the fourth quarter, we score a touchdown. And then just like Tampa Bay the week before, they get the ball back and go score a touchdown immediately with just 2 minutes left. Just run the ball. If we just ran the ball, majority of the problems will be fixed because I still believe we have a playoff caliber defense.
It was 10-10. Oh yeah.
It ended up being 10-10, and then they go down to score with a couple minutes left.
But what I'm saying is, the situation is your defense played great, but I don't think again at any point in the game you played complimentary football.
No,
I don't look at the. I'm not looking at the Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence didn't play
20 for 40.
I was just gonna say, I know he didn't throw it 25 times that game. They were gonna. I bet they have about 35 carries.
Yeah.
On
No. They threw the ball the whole game too. That's why they couldn't score. He threw it 20 for 40, and they ran the ball 24 times. We ran the ball 19 times.
Oh man, no.
It was a horrible game. Both game plans were bad. Both teams played. It was a terrible game plan for both teams.
Let me ask you this here, Jalen.
Uh-huh.
In a game like this, where both teams wouldn't concede, they wanted the game to be on their quarterback's back. So let me ask you this. People blaming C.J. Stroud is regressive. Without adequate protection, every quarterback's going to regress.
That's exactly what it's going to look like. You stick anybody behind this line.
One of his top targets is out with an injury. Tank Dell. You can say what you want to.
Yeah.
Whenever Tank Dell and Nico Collins plays,
offense looks great.
It looks different, right? I think y'all got rid of Michi, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, play for Philly now.
Yeah, and he can't catch. He can't catch a cold butt naked in Alaska, they say. But my point is saying is he doesn't have a complement of weapons that would dictate, we got to get the ball to our guys. We got to get the ball. That's not the situation here. No. He's working with largely Nico Collins and a bunch of young wide receivers. Let's lean on that defense a little bit and see if we can get a victory. That's what I would do, but that's not what they're doing. They want to use C.J. Stroud as the catalyst to their offense. And I'm not saying that he shouldn't be a big part of it. Of course, he's a quarterback. But I'm saying you also should, in a game that was 7-3, and a game that was 10, and a game that was
tied at 10.
10-3 for a while.
Mm-hmm.
You should have been using Nick Chubb much more than you were. People say other than that 20-something yard run, they didn't run the ball well. In my opinion, in a game that was a one-score game the entire game, and you only ran the ball 19 times, you weren't trying to run the football.
No, you were not trying to run it, and it's the complete opposite. As much as people have problems with Bobby Slowick's play calling, we were going to run the ball. Even if we're going to use one running back, Joe Mixon was going to get 25 carries in the game.
I hate to say this, man, but it seems like offense coordinators refuse to run screens and draws in lieu of to relieve pressure. I don't know why. It seems like nowadays what they want to do is use a quick passing game. But if you use the run game along with screens and draws, you can really be effective in the passing game, man.
Tom Brady did it for 20 years.
Yeah.
They were going to draw you to death if you're going to send a blitz. Cool, send them. We're going to give it. We don't care if it's 3rd and 8. We're going to give Stephen Ridley, LeGarrette Blount, whoever, Deion Dawkins. We're going to give all of them
Corey Dillon.
Corey Dillon, whoever we stuck in there, you're going to get these draw plays to death if you keep rushing us
Kevin Falk.
You respect it. Kevin Falk. All the guys that you can throw into those slots. Even the white running back they had. I can't even remember the dude. Danny Woodhead. We're going to give him a draw play on 3rd and 7, and then we're going to get this first down. It's the little things like that. I don't know what that is. I don't know why the Texans seem to refuse to run the ball. Why it seems like a couple of these teams refuse to run the ball. Even with Derrick Henry giving the ball up yesterday against Detroit. Why does Derrick Henry have 12 carries? He didn't fumble the ball to the 4th quarter. Those other 3 quarters, why does he only have 12 carries leading up to that moment? Doesn't make much sense to me. I'm not sure what that is. Looking at the 2 Texas teams, is it time to pull the plug on either one of these teams this early in the season? Cowboys 1-2, Texans 0-3.
I mean, we traded our best player, bro. When we traded our best player, the plug was pulled, right? You can say about Micah, and again, as I watched Micah play, he didn't have any problems stopping the run. He doesn't have any problem getting to the quarterback. We just chose to not pay him because he was asked for too much money. When you do that and don't have a plan, you end up in the situation we are where we have 2 first-round draft picks, 2 second-round draft picks that can't help us right now because we have a season to play, and those draft picks are for next season. You know, they can't help us.
Nope.
I think when you don't have a plan, when your plan was to not compensate your best player, you end up in this. What we would have been better with Micah? Absolutely. I don't know that we would have more wins with Micah, and maybe that's what Jerry was thinking. We may not have more wins, so I feel much better being 1-2 with $100-something million in my bank account rather than being in Micah's bank account. Maybe that's so, but that's not the spirit of a competitor. I'm just saying that's just a guy. That's a guy that really just wants to hoard money. And that's not what the NFL is about. It's about making sure you have the best possible team on the field. And when you let Micah go, you concede that your priority isn't having the best possible team on the field. Now, to the Texans, right? The Texans have a situation where they are in an identity crisis.
Yes.
Meaning that for whatever reason, they want to be a high-powered pass offense where C.J. Stroud just lights it up. With that defense and with what their offensive line is, he needs to convert to a game manager.
Yeah.
I know he can be a game changer. But if you put him in a situation of a game changer without the adequate protection, he's going to be on IR.
Yeah.
So let's have a game plan for C.J. Stroud and the Texans that allows him to distribute the football in critical times, but depend on the running game to move the football. I know that's an old school, boring style football, but it wins.
It wins. It's the reason we got into the playoffs the last couple of years. Yeah.
With that defense, it wins.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
It wins. Let the other team make the mistake. In the NFL, unfortunately, more games are lost than won.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have a style of play that allows you to protect the football, mitigate mistakes, you give yourself a chance to win. These games aren't getting away from the Texans.
No.
These games are not
right
getting away from the Texans. They're right there, and they just, to me, have to employ a proper strategy that benefits their defense. If they can play a strategy that benefits their defense, I think they can be, like I say, with that defense, they can win ball games. Yeah. No doubt about it.
You can get back to the playoffs. We're in a porous division, regardless of us being in 3rd place. No one expects anything in Jacksonville.
I don't know who y'all have next week. I hadn't looked at the schedule, but this is what I want to see.
Tennessee. So it's a get-right game.
So Tennessee. But when do y'all play the Colts? Because that's going to tell me.
We don't play them to the end of the season, I believe. Back-to-back. First game is in the end of November.
Because
November 30th.
everybody's talking about how good Daniel Jones is, right? if the Houston Texans are healthy and on defense, and Daniel Jones comes to town, we'll get to find out who Daniel Jones really is.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the 3 games that Daniel Jones, everybody's anointed him the best thing since sliced bread. I think the 3 teams he played are 1-8.
Yep. Only team on that list with the win is the Broncos, and they have 1.
Yeah, they won. They won
and
8.
they were supposed to lose that game.
They're 1-8. Who they got next?
They got the Rams this week. So
okay.
He's
So
coming back down to earth.
hold up. Now again, if he goes and lights the Rams up, now you got to also realize they're gonna get that ball to Jason Taylor.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Jonathan Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
So they may be able to, keep Daniel Jones in the game. But what I'm talking about, Daniel Jones, looking at his numbers and declaring that he's a trailer. I mean, he's a tractor. I mean, he's a truck, not a trailer. Mm-hmm. He is the ultimate trailer.
The biggest trailer you can get on the lot.
But when your running back is running loose and your defense is playing as well as their defense playing, and against bad teams, you can get some things done. I want to see him against a top-notch defense, a defense like the Rams. I was going to say, let's see him, because to me, even though Indy has a great record, I don't see much difference in Indy and Houston.
No.
And I think you guys have the far better quarterback. And in a situation where I know they're going to force Daniel Jones to play, he's not going to be able to just turn around and hand the ball off. Let's see if Daniel Jones is going to be a player. I think Houston has to get a victory against the Texans. Then they have to get, I think at this point they've decided that they need to get 2 against Indianapolis. They need to get 2 against Indianapolis.
Got to win all the division games.
Get 2 against the Titans.
Split with Jacksonville.
And they hope to split with Jacksonville. And then I think they're in the mix. Because I don't think, even though Indianapolis is off to a great start, I don't think they're going to go run away with anything. I think they're going to come down to earth because
this Sunday when they play the Rams, I think when they come back down to earth. The Colts have been one of the surprises. There's been, like I said, this is a football season, even though we're 3 weeks in. It started kind of the same as last year, ended like you said, but now we're starting to see who some of these teams are. The AFC West is just not what we thought it was. I thought it was going to be the most competitive division in football coming in. Doesn't look like that. The Chargers are 3-0, and I think the Chargers are actually a good team. But if y'all watch the show, y'all know how I feel about any team led by Jim Harbaugh. They're going to be a good team. They're going to be well-disciplined. He knows how to coach football, and this is the best quarterback he's ever coached, regardless of Justin Herbert's downfalls. But everybody else, the Broncos, I thought the Broncos are going to be good. Haven't looked so hot. The Chiefs being 1-2. Next week, by the end of next week, either the Chiefs or the Baltimore Ravens are going to be 1-3 because they play each other next week. That's something I did not see coming into the season whatsoever. Even if I thought they would struggle, I didn't think either one of those teams would be 1-3 to start the season. The Bengals are leading the AFC North, something I didn't think would happen, even though I don't think it'll stay that way. They're leading the AFC North at 2-1 right now. The AFC East looks like what we thought it was going to look like. The NFC East looks similar to what we thought, even if the records aren't what we thought. The order of the teams is probably who we thought would be. Eagles, Commanders, Cowboys, Giants. That's who we kind of thought it would be going into this. And then the NFC West looks like one of the most competitive divisions we got. I mean, everybody's 2-1 outside of the San Francisco 49ers who snuck a win in against the Cardinals. Another team that messed up my parlay. I had the Cardinals winning, and they were winning the entire game until the last second of the game on that field goal. What surprises you the most about the first couple of weeks throughout the season? Some of the teams that are doing bad, or some of our 3-0 teams like 49ers and Bucks?
As you can see, I think, like I said, it's an extension of the previous season, right? I think a function of the Baltimore getting off to a tough start is based on who they played.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think it's
Buffalo, Detroit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Good teams.
Yeah, it's function who they play, and then even if they end up 1-3, I'll even make the prediction. Even if they lose and go down to 1-3, they're still going to win the division. I don't see a world where Baltimore loses the division to who now? Cleveland?
Yeah. At this point.
Oh no, not
Pittsburgh.
Cleveland. A Burrow-less Bengals? No.
Not a chance.
And you're talking a 40-year-old quarterback. I don't think they lose to either one of the division to either one of those teams. So even I'll even tell you this. Hey, I'm gonna give you guys some good information here. Wait till tomorrow. Wait till next week. If they lose to KC, go to the futures of your whatever your local betting out your betting outlet is, and bet the Ravens to win the division. You'll get the best odds you can get.
Best odds you'll get all
They'll
year.
be in last place in the division for sure.
Yep.
Or at least tied for last
Tied
place.
for last with Cleveland.
With Cleveland. I don't know who Cleveland plays next week, but Cleveland has a
And no matter who they play, they're going to lose.
Man, they have their defense.
Detroit.
Their defense is a problem.
They play Detroit.
Their defense is a problem.
Yeah, because Myles Garrett is a problem. I don't understand why Myles Garrett gets compared to other people every single year. He's clearly the best defensive player.
Where do they play him at? Outside? If it's outside, you know what Jared Goff is outside.
It's at Detroit, so they're going to be in the dome. He's going to get a little love.
Yeah.
But he's going to get smacked.
You know he is outside. Outside, he's not the same guy. But inside, yeah. So you're right. They're probably going to be tied with Cleveland. And with that being said, you can get some great odds on Baltimore winning the division and make yourselves a little Christmas money. Because even though they'll be 1-3 and in last place, they'll have this thing wrapped up, in my opinion, the weekend after Christmas at least.
Yeah, I would expect that to. Like you said, I agree with all the stuff you said. Baltimore's going to win this division still. Not a believer in Pittsburgh. They're getting ugly wins, but Pittsburgh's been getting ugly wins for 15 years, and it turns into ugly losses in the playoffs. This is just how it's been going, unfortunately. I don't expect this year to be anything different whatsoever with them. Folks, I'll go to a couple of quick takes before we jump over to some college football here. Russell Wilson getting benched. Jackson Dart has been named the starter after Russell Wilson throws for 400-plus yards against the Dallas Cowboys. The very next week, he returns back to true Russell Wilson form against the Chiefs. And I don't know if they got past the 30-yard line against the Kansas City Chiefs, who hasn't looked good so far this season. So they bench him. They're going to get Jackson Dart in there. He couldn't get the ball to Malik Neighbors. Wasn't able to get the ball to anybody. Cam Scatterboos looked decent. So they're going to give it the try with the white chocolate backfield. They're going to have Scatterboo in at running back. They're going to have Jackson Dart in at quarterback and see if they can get, some white man can't jump kind of stuff going on in the NFL. But do you think this changes anything for the Giants? Will they win games?
Against the Chargers? NFL is about who you're playing, baby.
Yeah.
Who you play. The Cowboys ain't coming back. Not till the last game of the season.
Not to the end of the season.
So this is what I thought. This is what I honestly thought. Mm-hmm. I thought that they were going to roll Russell Wilson out there one more time against the Chargers at home and then let Jackson Dart play on the road. Well, looks like the home crowd is so hostile that they're going to give Jackson Dart a chance against the Chargers. That's not starting under the best circumstances.
No.
But again, think about this, though. You're 0-4. You roll Russell Wilson out at home. How many hot dogs and beers and are you going to sell for Russell Wilson?
No, none.
But how many you think you're going to sell?
It's going to be jam-packed. It's going to be top to bottom jam-packed.
So sometimes when it doesn't make sense football-wise, it makes sense business-wise.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So I think this is a decision that may be a good football decision, but it's also good for business too.
This definitely got some business ties along. And the business of keeping your job. Dayball knows if they go 0-6, he's fired. If they go 1-5. So let me throw something in here right now. He don't have 3 more weeks to wait. If they say, oh, well, let's let Jackson Dart play in the middle of the season, Dayball don't have that much time. If they lose again, if he would have played Russell Wilson and they lose the next game, he might have been fired. That's just what it is. He should have been fired in the offseason, but now you come out, you start out the season 0-3. He can see the writing on the wall. So he said, hey, this is the last bullet I got in the gun. Let's see if Jackson Dart can go out here, get us some wins, and, that's all he's got left to do. I don't think this changes anything against the Chargers. Definitely doesn't change anything. The Giants are going to stink regardless. But I'm interested to see what Jackson Dart. I'll be tuned in, just as you said. I mean, it's going to bring more people in the stand.
More hot dogs.
I'll be tuned in as
more
well.
More Diet Cokes.
Yeah.
More Miller Lights.
Yeah, some good old Miller Lights. We know what type of
nachos.
What type of background Jackson Dart has.
It makes and again, you got to understand, football is about entertainment, and Jackson Dart adds a bit of intrigue to this game.
Oh yeah.
That Russell Wilson doesn't. And if you're gonna subject Russell Wilson to the running in of Jackson Dart back and forth and allow him to get Jackson Dart to get cheered coming on the field and Russell Wilson to get booed coming on the field, that dynamic, I think that's just agitating the crowd. Let's give Jackson Dart a chance.
Yeah.
Even if he bombs, it's a better story.
What was Russell
Wilson bomb?
What was Russell Wilson going to do?
Yeah.
He was going to bomb. So we might as well get the new guy in there to see if he can play. So Jackson Dart going to be the first rookie out of this batch that wasn't starting to go ahead and get his start at quarterback. So we'll keep an eye on that game to see how they do. The Atlanta Falcons, last game, I picked them to lose against the Panthers. That's one that I did get right on my ticket this past weekend because I just felt like they haven't looked good. Michael Penix has actually looked terrible. And I was a Michael Penix fan if we're coming out of Washington, rooting for the guy, goes down to Atlanta. He wears do-rags and feed him to the coach. He's looked terrible this season. It just is what it is. For whatever the reason is, if it's the offense's fault, if it's the coordinator's fault, whoever's fault it is, he looks terrible. Kirk Cousins comes in mid-game. Doesn't change anything, but do you expect Kirk Cousins to end up getting a start this past weekend after losing 30-0 against the Carolina Panthers?
How many wins do they have?
The Falcons, 1 win.
Yeah, Penix will come back out.
Okay, so Penix will get his chance to come back
out. I mean,
out.
that's what. Who are they playing?
This upcoming week, let me check their schedule. They will be playing the Commanders.
Yeah, I think they'll play Penix.
So Penix gets the chance to come back out. Yeah, I mean, I'm not mad at either option. Whoever comes out of this, I think both quarterbacks aren't going to do that good at this point. Penix hasn't shown anything for us to think otherwise. This year, I just feel bad for Bijan Robinson. I still feel like he's one of the best running backs in the league. Right now, he's just plagued with being stuck on the Atlanta Falcons. C.J. Gardner-Johnson cut from the Houston Texans as of today. They released him. As a guy that's had problems in multiple locker rooms, and there are reports that he was challenging DeMeco Ryans and the other defensive coaches on schemes, and by challenging with guys like CJ, if something probably came to almost swinging. He's not a guy that knows how to have a lot of words without something getting physical. So at that point, they go ahead and cut him. What do you think about CJ now getting cut or traded for the third time in, I believe, a year and a half? Almost.
I seen his interview on the pit. He's a weirdo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's a weirdo.
He's thrown off a little bit upstairs.
He's a Florida guy.
Yeah, that should explain it all right there. He's
Florida man.
Yeah, Florida man. He's Florida man right there.
And so he probably has to play in a team with a really strong culture. I'm gonna say something, and I think he fits the profile. He fits the mold. He can be one of them. He needs to go be a Raven.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
got to have a strong culture around him.
He's a nasty dude.
Yeah,
and he needs to be around other nasty men.
Yeah,
you understand? What I mean by that is, what I mean by nasty, I mean tough, ornery guy.
Absolutely.
That don't nothing matter but ball.
Yep.
You understand? Like the fact that he's a weirdo will be tolerated because he can ball. You know, and I'm not going to even say tolerated. It may not be, his weirdness may not be put up with in that locker room or it may not stick out because there are other strong personalities that operate in that, in that atmosphere. Like I say, I can see. Again, I don't think he'll be a good fit for the locker room. But hell, we need help.
Yeah.
Bring him to the Cowboys.
Yeah.
The way Malik Hooker getting beat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
28 ain't been looking to.
Man, every time I look up, 28
is getting scored on.
Chase somebody.
Yeah.
And again, I want to really almost cape for the players. Eberflus is our coordinator.
How did he get the job, man?
I believe that our defensive performance is more, and we saw this with Dan Quinn, is more related to who we have at coordinator than the ability of our players.
Yep.
You could take the same group of players, play them in a different scheme, and you get different results. We came from a system, pretty much a man system, that Dan Quinn mostly ran.
Yeah.
He originally tried to implement the same zone system that he had in Seattle, and he realized he had to switch. I think when he switched up, our corners had the best seasons of their career.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we have to run a system our guys can run because, again, this is the NFL. There's no, and I hate to get back on my Cowboys.
Yeah.
There's no reason for guys to be running butt naked with nobody around them.
No,
our guys don't know who to cover.
Mm-mm. Yeah,
and so they covering nobody.
Nobody, and it looks like it each and every single week. So I agree. That's
what I'm saying. So when you talk
that's
about, I know we got about C.J. Gardner-Johnson, but what I'm saying is some guys just aren't a good fit for certain locker rooms and certain schemes, and I think this is a situation where C.J. Gardner-Johnson just wasn't a good fit. I don't know if they traded for C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Howie wins again.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Howie pulled another fast one on us. You'll give us CJ after you just won a Super Bowl? Cool. We just laughing in the background.
Did y'all trade for CJ?
Yeah, we traded for him. It was some late pick stuff, but still, it don't matter. Howie had no resistance to it. Oh, you want CJ? Cool. What you need? A 7? All right, let's make it happen right now. So yeah, I start to see why Howie looks like you got pulled another.
Like I say, he's a weirdo.
Yeah,
he's a weirdo. I saw him on the pivot. And
nothing made sense. I watched the interview too. Nothing he said made sense. At the end of each segment, you just say, "Huh? Hey, what were we talking about?"
Well, the one thing that got me is that he wanted some rookie to pick up all the weights in the locker room, and he was talking about, you know how we do rookies. Yeah, but I think it was stated that in the Eagles program, there's no hazing. Mm-hmm. There's no hazing in the program. Once you say that there's no hazing in the program, then you can't haze the rookies.
It should be that simple. You think it would be that simple. But no, now it's got to be about respect, and now it's got to be about what my OGs did. Hey, nobody care about that, bro. We got a rule. You broke it. So now you gone. Same here in Houston. D'Amico is a no-nonsense type of coach. You're going to challenge him, probably challenging other players, when honestly, you just missing the same thing you did in Philly. Dude's just running past you. Yeah, you're a good playmaker, but sometimes you let people run right past you, and now it's somebody else's fault that they ran past you. So he's out there. We only got a couple minutes here left. Like I said, got to finish the show a little bit early here today. Want to talk a little bit of college ball. Biggest news out of college today, Mike Gundy fired after 21 years at Oklahoma
2 years
State.
too late.
3 years too late. If you're Oklahoma State, whatever that year is, they played Baylor in the Big 12 championship game. After that, it was about time.
I'm a man!
That's all I can remember. We still remember that I'm the man, I'm 40. I remember sitting in Mr. C barbershop watching that and being like, man, what does this dude talk about? Why is he so mad right now? But yeah, fired. Definitely seen this coming. I said after the Oregon game, he should have been fired. You don't lose to any other Power 4 school by 70. I don't care who you play. And then you backdoor and lose to Tulsa, he's gone.
This is a question I really like to ask your dad, but I'm going to ask you. How can a guy viewed as largely a player's coach for, I'll say, 20 years of his career, when it's time for players to get paid, completely refuses to adopt a system that compensates the players?
Because it was never a player's coach. And we give that title out to dudes because he said, hey, man, I know you're smoking weed, but stop it right here in front of all the people. And now he's a player's coach because he didn't kick you off the team for smoking. When in actuality, if he was a player's coach, he'd be 100% behind these guys getting paid. Same as Nick Saban, same as everybody else in this tenure of coaches that have now, I guess, an era of coaches is over with. Dabo, the same guy that's also going to be out of a job in Clemson. Now they were considered players coaches, but now when it's time to actually do something to benefit the players, now there's all this resistance and pushback. I don't view Mike Gundy as that. He should have been fired, as you said, probably 3 years too late. After you get blown out by Oregon, for sure you should have been fired. But losing to Tulsa had to be the final straw on the camel's back. You don't want to pay guys. You're already at a smaller program like Oklahoma State. You're going to get these results, and that's what happened here with Mike Gundy.
Unfortunately, Mike. I've always liked Mike Gundy.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought
he's a cool dude.
I always thought he was a cool dude with a bad haircut.
Yeah.
We got a chance to talk to
Kenyatta Wright.
Kenyatta Wright, who is essentially the GM of the program, and he admitted they were behind the 8 ball, so to speak. And then Gundy also admitted right there on the podium that he refused to, enter into the. He didn't believe what he essentially said is, we didn't believe we had to pay players.
Yeah.
We didn't think that's not the way we wanted to do it here and use Ollie Gordon as an example of a guy being committed to the program and all that kind of stuff. My point in saying that is these guys who are stubborn, who insist on doing things the old way, often end up with this being their fate, Jalen. I've seen it, whether it be Bobby Knight. There are a number of guys you could name that ended up, just not conforming to the changes in the new system. I think the difference between a guy like a Bobby Knight and a guy like Coach K is that you realize the change, and though you may not want to conform to the new world order, theirs was one and done in NCAA college basketball. Coach Krzyzewski didn't want to go to the one and done. He wanted to stay, with the Duke guys, the program guys working through the system, earning their playing time and all this kind of stuff. But how many times do you watch Memphis and Kentucky and all the other schools play for a national championship before you realize, hey, I better start recruiting these one and done guys and letting these guys know you can come to Duke and also go to the pro ranks after 1 year. And then after that, now Duke, after whether it be Zion or Cooper Flagg or whoever, these guys, Duke became known as a one. Corey Maggette and my man Kyrie Irving. I mean, a bunch of guys now that we recognize were one and done guys at Duke, and they end up were able to be relevant. Up until the point Coach K retired because he adopted to the new world. But there are guys that are going to refuse to adopt. But I think Nick Saban did it the best way. He realized that he didn't want to play the game under the current condition.
I'll get out of here then.
I'll get out of here. I think that's a noble thing to do.
Yeah,
I think Dabo pushing back on the system, openly pushing back. And I'm going to tell you, the openly pushing back creates a situation where Florida State, Georgia, South Carolina, all these guys are going to use that against you.
And they are currently doing it. They're currently doing it.
You mean, and again, Dabo had the luxury of being able to stockpile talent. Well, now stockpiling talent, if you're going to stockpile talent, you're going to have to pay them.
Yeah.
That's the only way a guy is willing to sit on the bench. I'll sit on the bench behind a guy if I'm making $400,000, $1 million. I'm not going to do it for the good of the program when I can go to the next something state, Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, get playing time and get paid. So it's just a new world order in football, in college football, and much as I Hate to see Mike Gundy go because, like I said, I was a fan of Mike Gundy. I liked the way he coached. I liked the way he did business. But at the end of the day, if you're not going to adapt to the times, it's better off that someone who will adapt serves in that position to give your school the best possible chance of winning possible. Because he wasn't, to me, at the end of the day, he wasn't letting me down. He wasn't even letting the kids down that he recruited because he probably recruited under the guys that he wasn't going to pay him or he couldn't compensate him, whatever. Who you were letting down was your fan base.
Absolutely.
Your donors, your supporters, by having the ability to do something for players and just refusing to do it, thus creating the spiral that they're on now. And so it's funny that you say him and Dabo are on a spiral together.
Absolutely, because they're the last of, that era. You think about the Nick Sabans, you think about the Coach Gundys, the Mac Browns, these coaches, 90s, 2000s, leading into the 2010s that had a certain type of swagger about them and had a certain type of way of thinking. They're starting to fall out. Kirby Smart had some pushback, but as you can see, he's adapting to the time. He's got money. They got Zion Branch and all these other dudes. They paid a bunch of money to come in.
BJ Bowler?
Yeah.
KJ Bowler?
Yeah, KJ Bowler.
Yeah,
they're
best
paying
safety in the country.
They're paying some big name guys, so they're adapting to the times. And Clemson, I'm just ready at this point for Dabo to get fired. I'm not a huge Clemson fan, but
I'm not a Dabo fan for a bunch of other reasons.
For other reasons,
not really football reasons, but because
no.
He's not sensitive to the plight of the players that have empowered him and allowed him to make such a wonderful life for him and his family.
Wonderful life.
He largely neglects their plight and takes a position
That's my main reason for not liking
that is not in keeping with a value system that recognizes them as humans. And so
I was very glad Fran Brown beat them.
Oh, man.
Syracuse beat them
he used to coach,
weekend.
but Fran used to coach for him, didn't he?
I believe so. Or for one of them. It was either Clemson or some. I can't remember where he came from. But,
Clemson or Georgia, huh?
Yeah, Clemson or Georgia, one of them two. And I'm glad that he beat them because he has a completely different philosophy that I can agree with and get with 100%. I love Fran Brown's coach philosophy. But Dabo, please just stop crying. Stop guilt tripping your fans into keeping you as a coach.
Well, here's
if you hate eight championships in the last, I guess if you hate
again though, Jalen, I'm saying, how long? If you were making $10 million here today, how long would you want to make that $10 million?
As long as I can get it. 10 million years if they give it to me.
my point is that's what this is all about.
Yeah, it is.
It's about him being in a situation where he's making $10 million a year. The players, they're not invested in NIL. They're forced to kind of pay players based on the house settlement. Who ends up taking the pay cut in this situation? I think he's the guy that he has to take some accountability.
Yeah.
He can't ask for a pay raise.
No.
Now.
No.
Nor
should he.
Yeah.
Should he. Obviously everybody's going to do it, but I'm saying deservingly as far as the product you put on the field.
Let me ask you this, because I want to really ask you this. Can Dabo get out of this by just simply blaming Craig Klubnik as being a letdown as to why their program is in the situation it's in?
You can, but it won't look good for you in the future recruiting-wise. If I mess up and you throw me under the bus and I'm a potential...
Well, what I'm saying is, like, it's a function of the court. Because he simply said that, his quarterback has to play better, this, that, and other.
He did.
But I look at this. Who is he throwing to? Who's blocking for him? Who's covering those receivers from Syracuse? Who's on that defensive line? They're a totally different quality of guy than they've had in the past.
That is true, but they have at the receiver spot, they got a lot of talent. They have a lot of talent.
See, this is where I think the star system gives a disservice to players sometimes, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Just because you show up with 5 stars doesn't mean that the system I have, you can be effective in my system. And I think everybody, even we're learning now, that unless you have a certain quarterback, unless you have a certain system, even with Jeremiah Smith, you're learning that maybe he's not the plug and play player that we thought he was.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was a system of we had two great running backs, we had a dominant O-line, we had a situation where you had to commit to man-to-man, and in the man-to-man situation, he was great. Whereas maybe you can load up on him now that we don't have Junkins and Henderson in the offensive line and Will Howard as a running threat and all that kind of stuff. It makes it, the game is different now. So I just think sometimes these guys show up with stars and we think they're plug and play. They're not necessarily plug and play. And the more importantly, Dabo has to have that collection of talent that you once could do in college. You can't have that collection of talent. So now, as a coach, those guys that can scheme and develop are at top tier. Has Dabo ever been was he a collection of talent guy or was he a schemer and developer? I'll say he was a talent collector.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Most definitely. I mean,
when you look at the wide receivers he had, when you look at the D linemen he had,
they all in the
and
league
the
right now.
linebackers he had, he was a talent collector, and he was never a guy that really had to depend on scheme and player development. And now it's showing his head.
It's showing, and to Dabo's with the crying and the bringing up all these, if those guys that are underperforming that you just named come to him and say, "Man, Dabo, I have 4,000 yards in high school," you think Dabo's gonna say, "Man, you're right. Get out there and go play." So stop telling us about you winning in 2016. We don't care. This is a decade later. Remember when Deshaun Watson threw a ton?
Well,
we talking about you calling bad plays right now.
But people are saying because of the NIL era, what he did in the past is irrelevant.
Exactly. It is irrelevant.
And you have to do it under these circumstances in order for you to be that $10 million coach.
This is Doc Rivers. I win most of the time when I have a lead, and when I don't have a lead, I lose. Well, I think that's how games work, Doc. The same thing with Dabo. Let's stop with the complaining and stuff, man. Either go out there and win a game or do what I expect you to do and lose some more games coming up. Because if you've already lost to LSU and the Syracuse and Georgia Tech.
I noticed certain teams are probably still in the same situation they were. I'm going to bring up a team that they pretty much, because NIL hadn't changed their circumstances much. Like a team like Missouri. Missouri is still what they've always been. NIL is not changed their circumstances much. They're going to be able to pay some players. They're not going to be able to pay at the top. Or they won't be the worst school either, but they'll be able to continue to get players. And those players and the players they get, they understand that they have to develop them and they have to scheme. And I think those guys tend to be what they always were, and occasionally they'll jump up and be really good or whatever. It's those teams to me, it's the Alabamas, it's the Georgias, it's those schools that are going to have to adjust to this new world order because they have to. They're not going to be able to just collect and hoard talent.
Like the old days. I mean, the game has changed, and we're starting to see that in college football. Got some new teams on top in college football. We'll discuss those a little bit more this week, folks. We're out of time here today as we've got to jump off here early. Want to thank everybody for tuning in with us. Want to thank Rock for jumping on here with us here today. We'll be back tomorrow. We've got MCC Volleyball. We'll be back here on Centex Primetime on Thursday. And, of course, on Friday Night Flex will be back in action this weekend. So make sure you guys are tuning in for that. Signing off here today is Jalen Gillis, Rocky Miller. We will see you guys next time. Everybody have a great evening.